Words About Books, Ben.
It's Words About Books, Nate.
This time, we are finally covering a book that we have been asked to cover by at least one person. We're talking about Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Yeah.
But we're not going to talk about the author because that will just get us completely off track the entire time.
Yeah, in fact, I don't even think we know who the author was. We just Googled Philosopher's Stone. And
Well, it was J.K. Tolkien, right? Or J.R.R. Tolkien Rowling? I don't know.
Jolkin Rolkin.
Jolkin Rolkin. Why do authors do that? Where
What?
they shorten it to their initial? Is that like a stylistic thing in England or something? I guess Applegate did it too. Is that her?
Well,
is that their name?
women usually do it because they don't necessarily want to reveal the fact that they're a woman because they think men won't buy the book, and they're probably right.
That's fair. Is that why Tolkien did it?
Tolkien, I don't know. It's weird to call him John. Maybe he knew that.
John Tolkien. That does sound
yeah.
weird.
So that's probably why.
What were the R's?
Ronald Rowell or something.
Oh my god,
Roll?
he's like more American than most Americans. Did he realize that?
Don't tell him that. He hated Americans.
John Ron.
John Ron Tolkien.
That's an American name if I ever heard one. John Ron.
Oh.
That's even more American than Ricky Bobby.
I don't know if it's more American than Ricky Bobby.
Well, there's another thing that we need to bring up, Ben. In the UK, the book is Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. So why was that changed?
Well, in America, we don't like philosophy.
Well, but it turns lead into gold.
Well,
I guess it was a pre-Full Metal Alchemist in America world.
No, we don't like... So philosophy... sorry, my wife was screaming about something.
What else is new? Am I right?
No, so... philosophy is love of knowledge, and that is the least American thing there can be. Okay.
I guess we're more into sorcery than philosophy.
Yeah, I would say that's a fact. Yeah.
Even though, like that, didn't this get lumped in like the same way D&D was?
Did you see our Secretary of Defense accidentally texted a battle plan to the editor of the Atlantic?
Did he really?
Yeah, they were all in a Signal. They invited him to a Signal group chat, and I don't think they knew who they invited. And the guy thought it was a joke. He thought it was somebody trying to screw with him, and so he didn't say anything. And then the attack that they were talking about happened the way they were talking about it happening, and he was like, "Oh, I think they accidentally just texted me the battle plan."
Who is even our Secretary of Defense?
The drunk.
The drunk. That you're not narrowing it down. Is this the Fox News reporter or
Helig something?
Okay, Hegseth. Is he the Fox News guy? I can't remember.
I don't fucking know. All I know is he was an alcoholic, and he promised if he was Secretary of Defense, he'd quit drinking.
I'm a little concerned when you have to promise me you're going to quit drinking if you're given this position of power.
Wasn't a big issue for Congress.
Well, yeah, Congress is just there to rubber stamp things, right?
Well, half of them are drunk anyway.
Not Mitch McConnell, though.
Do you want me to mic you up, Shy? No, so we're talking about Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Yes, we're talking about Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. And that brings me to another good point, Ben. Full Metal Alchemist. We actually met because of a mutual friend telling me to reach out to you when I kept asking him Full Metal Alchemist questions. That was back before they even finished the manga. That was back before Brotherhood, Ben.
Yeah.
I know I've asked you this before, but you prefer Brotherhood over the original, don't you?
Yeah. I like them both, but it's kind of a Full Metal Alchemist is like the Tolkien version of Brotherhood. Brotherhood's the only problem with Brotherhood is it's like, what do you tell people to watch? Because
Yeah, it almost feels like you have to watch the beginning of the first one.
yeah, because Brotherhood assumes it came out right like within years of the first series ending. So it assumed everybody had seen the first series, but it's like, okay, the manga's over now. We know what actually happened. There isn't a parallel Nazi universe. So
Yeah.
there's, we're, we're gonna throw that out real quick.
Yeah, it almost it also looked like they didn't really put a whole lot of effort into the beginning episodes because you're just supposed to like
Yeah, you're supposed to have seen
supposed to
it. So
watch up to like Laboratory 5 of the original series and then like switch over real quick. I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, it's
I I feel like they also rushed the ending of the original anime and it was a big old downer.
I don't think they rushed it.
I don't know. The Roy Mustang doesn't get to do anything. He gets into like one fight with Ed and one fight with Pride, and Pride kicks his ass and loses because his son's an idiot. Brings in the skull of the person he was.
You know, the only thing though is like there was some interesting stuff going on in the first Full Metal Alchemist anime that like isn't in the manga. I don't think they do that in the manga, right?
No, because Pride is Wrath. I don't even think
Well,
Wrath ever fights
yeah, well,
Mustang.
Wrath isn't a thing. Like the Wrath that is Izumi's aborted child.
Yeah, yeah, he's not a thing in the
Is
in the
yeah,
in Brotherhood in the manga.
yeah. But that was a good Wrath.
Yeah,
And
it was
Sloth is
also like
not their
how can you
mom.
defeat him because he is the body because they're weak around like their human remains, but he is the human remains that became him, right? I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure he's an aborted fetus given life.
Well, it miscarried, we should say. That's
Yeah, yeah. I
um
mean, spontaneous abortion, right? That's what it is.
I don't know the medical terms, but yeah.
That's the medical term.
The point is it's illegal in Texas.
But it's not illegal in Full Metal Alchemist land, probably. I would assume they're cool with whatever.
You think Fuhrer King Bradley is cool with whatever?
I
Is that the
remember.
platform he ran on?
I,
Let's just chill.
I, I remember thinking like, okay, this guy's a bad guy, right? Because he goes by Fuhrer.
Yeah, because he's the Fuhrer. Yeah.
I mean, I know that. I think I said that to you, and you're
Well,
like, "Well,
that or he's
Fuhrer
just
means
this.
leader," and it's like, okay, but like, he
Oh, he
could
could just
just
be the
be the
CEO of
leader.
Tesla. We don't
Yeah.
know.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, he could, if you have a fantasy world and someone goes by El Duce, like. Maybe that's the bad guy. I don't know. There's a reason that they picked that title.
No, it's just Spanish for the Duce.
So yeah, and they like didn't even have the Far East in the original. That didn't even exist, right?
No, they didn't. So I think I wonder where they got the the ideas for some of the stuff that was unique to the show. Because like I do like the first series, but it's more of like I don't know, it's more occult
Yeah,
than alchemy,
it
I would
almost
say.
seems in some ways like anti-anime, like the whole subverting your expectations thing, like they don't win. Ed comes back from alternate reality Nazi world, which I guess is just our world in
It's
World
just
War
our world.
II.
I mean, I guess yeah, but
And
or
he
now,
comes back
whatever.
and then dies.
He doesn't die.
He does die.
No. They just wind up on opposite sides of the gate.
I'm pretty sure
He's not dead
that
at the end.
I know he's not dead at the end, but he does get a mortal wound. But Al is a philosopher's stone, I guess, and he does a thing and brings Edward back, but he's on the other side of the gate, and Al gets his body back, but lost all of his memories of what had happened.
Yeah.
I never saw the movie, so I don't know how the movie ends.
With the movie, yeah, you kind of have to see the movie.
I know Envy is a dragon thing.
Yeah. It's been since I haven't seen the movie since college. So I was actually thinking about doing like a full reread of Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh, okay.
It's been a minute since I've looked at it. And that is like one of my top manga of all time. Because
Yeah.
I think the interesting thing is in the anime they focused a lot on the occult aspects of alchemy. Like the human transmutation. And in the manga, they focus more on alchemy as like a study of philosophy and nature. And I think that's where it's interesting too to bring in Eastern alchemy. Because like
Alchestry or something like that.
I forget what they call it in the manga,
It's
but
something like that. But doesn't alchemy have like its roots in Father? Because he can like shut it off, but he can't shut off the Eastern stuff or Scar's stuff.
yeah, I guess it's kind of like ring making in that sense, you know. Uh,
Ah,
but
he taught
I
Hohenheim everything he knew, but he didn't teach him everything that he knew.
yeah, but there's also I think part of
That
the
made
reason
sense in my head. The pronouns kind of threw everything off. You're just
he
gonna have
taught
to.
Hohenheim everything that Hohenheim knew,
There you
but
go.
he didn't teach Hohenheim everything that Father
Father
knew.
knew.
Yeah,
There you go.
that has been for people who don't ever read our writing. I think that's probably my most frequent edit to your writing.
Yeah, pronouns. Where
Pronouns
you're
are
like, "Who
I've
the hell
lost in
is
the pronoun.
talking?" And I'm like, "Okay, that's fair."
Two.
I'm trying to be more mindful of that.
um, no, there. I'm trying to think because the reason okay, so the reason I was thinking about doing a full reread was, um, we were talking a bit about Freerin, and
Bonus episode, by the way. Go on our
yeah,
Patreon. $2 will get you all the bonus episodes, including a talk about Freerin, which we also relate to
does it get you all the bonus
Tolkien.
episodes? I think I put that at $3.
Oh, you're right. $3. $2 gets you a vote in the poll, and $3 gets you everything
$2 also
else.
gets you early access to the Tolkien stuff if I edit it fast enough.
Yeah.
It's not a great tier,
But
but
it's the tier we have.
it is the lowest tier. So, and no one's at it. So, I think everybody's decided the $3. Look, I don't know. Don't at me, okay? Um, no. So I was thinking about Freerin having, because obviously Tolkien has a lot of Christian influence, but there are certain aspects of things in Freerin that strike me as more like Buddhist in nature, or maybe even like probably not Shinto, but one of the things that I enjoy about Full Metal Alchemist is obviously it focuses pretty heavily on the Western occult alchemy. But Western alchemy deeply tied in to Christianity as well. Like probably the most famous alchemist was Isaac Newton, who
Did
was
he get
also
that lead into gold?
no, but he was also
Mm.
trying to prove with his mathematics that God existed.
Did it succeed?
No,
Damn it.
but he was a weird dude. But the
That's God was pissed. He threw that apple at his head, but didn't finish the job.
didn't finish the job. Well, I mean, he did finish the job eventually.
Yeah, I mean, the syphilis eventually got to him.
But no, there's a
I actually
speech.
don't know how he died.
I don't think Isaac Newton. I'm
I
kind of
think
serious
he
about this.
famously did not have
Yeah, I
sex.
don't think he ever had sex.
Yeah.
So I don't think he was what we would call today neurotypical. I think when you're a guy who's trying to mathematically prove the existence of God and just incidentally you invent a whole new uh, discipline of mathematics, that's not normal.
Oh,
That's not what most people are
it looks
doing.
like he may have been drinking mercury. So,
Whoops.
oopsie. That's a
Uh,
whoopsie daisy.
yeah, you don't want to do that. But no, there's a speech at the end of Full Metal Alchemist where um, the thing that's at the gate talks to the main bad guy, and he gives the
Oh, it
speech.
does?
Yeah, he gives the speech that like I'm you, I'm everything, I'm God,
And
I'm
Father's like, shut the fuck up.
well. There's this weird. It's a very kind of like
You're not God. I'm God.
it's like a Zen Buddhist concept because Zen means all, and that's sort of the thing with Zen Buddhism is like we are all part of the one great universe. You can't separate anything from anything, really. It's all just a matter of like scale and perspective, the differences. And that's an interesting thing that's going on in the background of Full Metal Alchemist is that they're so like Ed is so caught up in the idea of equivalent exchange, mathematical formulas, things like that.
That
But
he
then there's
forgot to
just
get laid. Just like Isaac Newton.
this deeper truth that like everything you do to yourself. When you transmute something, you're not changing it, you're changing yourself. There's only you, and you are everything, and everything is you. And I don't know. I
And
like
then
that.
Father backhanded that creature and said, I'm God now.
Well, and that's kind of what he was trying to do, and that's his fatal flaw is ego. He's trying
But he
he's
got rid of his pride.
but he's caught up in delusion.
So he failed to. So really, he should have gotten rid of his pride even harder. He should have made a second pride, who is a weird shadow monster.
Well, he's deluded on the point of there being a him to separate these things from. You can't separate yourself from your pride
But why not? You said
because
that you can change. You don't change the universe. You change yourself.
yeah, but
So I'm
your
going to
pride
change
comes with
myself
it.
to not have pride.
So everything also comes from nothing. This is the thing. You get
Well,
rid
then
of
my
it
pride can return to nothing.
and it can return from nothing.
Well, how about we return it to nothing and then we just we don't let it return from nothing.
You haven't
We build
solved
a wall and we make God pay for it.
you
And
haven't
thus
s- that is the ultimate policy, isn't it? Um no, but you haven't solved the core problem that
the core problem is that I'm not God.
the core problem is that yeah, you have pride, you have desire, you have like the pride is always going to come back because you haven't dealt with the root cause
But can't I how many times do I have to get rid of it before it stops coming back?
until you stop what causes the pride in you. That's what you have to find.
I want to be God.
You should probably stop wanting that.
It- but what if I made a vow that I would become God and now I have to follow through an oath? Like those guys from Tolkien, except instead of becoming, they wanted to kill a god.
Well,
And it worked out real well for them, from what I understand. Morgoth was, in fact, defeated. Yeah?
yeah, he was.
There you go. All right. So, what
I,
can Father do that's like what the elves did in Tolkien to defeat Morgoth?
so interesting analogy, I guess, is a representative of the elves set aside his own desires and appealed to the gods and humbly asked for their help with absolutely no conditions.
So could Father humbly ask for God to give him God powers?
I think the thing is that if Father could set aside all his desires, he would see that he was God the whole time.
Oh my god. It turned into Beware of Chicken with the meditation and such.
Well, that's the East versus West. I was going to actually bring up Beware of Chicken too, because the formations and stuff I was talking about,
You're
that
right though.
is
He
the
is kind
Eastern
of God
alchemy.
already, isn't he? He can make things with his mind. He basically built the entire country that the story takes place in.
His
Why does he want to be God?
his
What is his
thing,
desire for being God?
his
I thought
desire
I
is
thought
to
at first he just
know.
wanted to not be a homunculus in a glass jar.
Well,
And
this
he
is the
f-
problem with desire itself, and this is where I would say, like, the theme, though outwardly Full Metal Alchemist presents itself as a very Western and therefore like Christian inspired thing, I would say that the undercurrent of morality is in fact a little Zen Buddhist, because the desire is a never ending trap. It's never enough. All things are inherently unsatisfactory.
what are you telling me that Bezos is never going to be satisfied with the amount of money that he currently has?
He could devour the entire world
And he will.
and it would still not be enough.
God, that sounds like a tragic story, Ben.
Like the goal, and goal is a, because that implies desire as well. But like like the what you would strive for in, say, meditation, to compare it to like what Freeren's doing with simply just trying to uh control her mana output. She's just simply existing in that moment and doing that, and just managing the way her energy flows. She's becoming stronger without really even realizing it, because she's just simply there in the moment, okay with what's going on. And I think that's the thing you want to try to not strive for, but realize that it's already there. And this is something that Ed and Al keep confronting again and again, is that what gets them into trouble is trying to control their circumstances rather than simply just experiencing life. Like their mother dies and their children, and they're not equipped to deal with that emotionally. And so they try to resurrect her and it all goes horribly wrong. The correct thing to do would have been to experience the grief, rely on the help of
is
the
that
friends and family you still
is
have.
that what Ernest Klein should also do? It's all
Yes.
connected.
Yes.
You should feel those emotions. You shouldn't make a digital zombie of your grandmother so that you never have to feel like your grandmother isn't around anymore.
That's the thing, is there, and and I think Full Metal Alchemist does a good job of presenting why that teaching, that's not the sort of thing you can just tell somebody. You can't tell somebody who just like lost a loved one that, like, well, just try to realize that it's a natural part of life, especially when it's like somebody who died at the wrong time, like what we feel is the wrong time, like a young mother or a child, or something like that. Like, you can't just go and say like, oh, that's just the way of the world, it's the cycle of life. Like, no, you can't do that. But the right thing to do is process the grief. It did happen. You can't impose your will on reality to try to make it so it didn't happen. And when
So,
they do that, they create a huge fucking mess.
yeah, what does happen to the creature in Brotherhood? Does it just die?
I
Some
believe,
sort of abomination that that exists for a few minutes and then horribly dies.
I
Is
think the
that?
lady who owns the automail shop beats it to death with a shovel.
Oh my god! Are you serious?
Yeah, I think that's what she said. Like, I'm not going to talk about what happened that night, but I put it's done now.
Oh my god!
um, that's what I said. I got to reread it though because I'm so vague on so many of the details. It's been so long. When I first read it, I was in high school, and I think I was reading this on a shitty scanlation site called Toriyama's World.
I'm sorry. What?
Yeah, there was a site where you could download like the very first scanlators. These are like for our younger listeners. This is the Stone Age. I went to a website called Toriyama's World, and they had like two people who lived in Japan who were able to get the raw manga, and then they would, you know, they had a team who translated it and they put it up on their website, and then whenever it got licensed, they would take it down. So I read it there for a while, and then it got licensed, and then I did buy all the volumes and everything, and I have it sitting on my bookshelf to this day. Um, but yeah, I just have to sit down and read it because at the time I was reading it, I didn't pick up on a lot of the Eastern influences. I definitely didn't pick up on all of the Chinese alchemy. I also hadn't read up a lot on Western alchemy either. But now I
You
think
got to get that mercury. You got to
I'd
start
really get something out of it.
sipping. Of course, we call it Quicksilver
They
in
were
our line of work.
fascinated by Quicksilver.
Yeah. It was great stuff if you just didn't get on your hands or in your body.
Yeah, well, I don't think they realized the organic chemistry complications of it.
Well, they should have.
But the stuff
With all
about
the
like
with how much they studied it, they really should have known.
but the stuff about
Also,
like
it looks like Ed and Al they created like a human male. It was not their mom in Brotherhood.
I
So
don't
that's weird.
yeah. One of the true horror things about Full Metal Alchemist, because I did very recently see the first episode of Brotherhood again. I forget why. I was watching it with
Was it
somebody.
with the ice guy?
I watched I think the first 4 episodes. Yeah, the Ice Guy's the first episode,
Yeah, I
or the
remember
Water
seeing
Guy.
that, not realizing that Brotherhood was a thing, and I was like, I do not remember this episode at all. What the hell is going on?
But I watched the scene where they try to bring their mom back, and the thing about that scene is it is so fucking creepy
Oh yeah, it's
because you
horrifying.
before they even do the transmutation, it um the stuff they're doing, they're listing off all the elemental components of a human body, and you as an adult watching it, you already know that's not gonna work for
What?
so many
You just
reasons.
put together a body. How hard
Yeah,
could it be?
yeah, you're like, dude, that's not gonna work for so many reasons. There's
Can you create a human body, but like without a soul, and not have the gate show up and steal your torso or whatever?
maybe.
Like, what if I just want to make a dummy body to throw off people, and I just happen to have a bunch of carbon and salt and whatever laying around?
I think the thing is, and I don't know if the manga, now that I think about it, because the anime's solution to like where the energy for alchemy comes from was that in our world it doesn't exist.
It came from World War One and then World War Two. Whenever people die, a little bit of that energy goes to the gate or something, and
Well,
that's
that
what's
was
used.
literally it. Was that when people die in our world, that energy that those people were becomes the energy that fuels alchemic transmutation. And I think that's a little too. That's where I say it gets into the occult sorcery aspect of
Yeah. So
alchemy
what
more.
do we get out of this exchange? What happens when you die? Do I get more coal?
Toka Coca. Hagane no Renkin Jutsushi.
Did, did Hitler show up in Conquerors of Shambhala?
No.
Okay,
I don't
I
think so.
figured that'd be a hard sell because they wouldn't
Hugh
even let Lupin the Third have that Hitler episode.
Lupin the one of the newer Lupin movies has Hitler.
Yeah, but they wouldn't air on Adult Swim. They're like next time, and they showed Hitler in the next episode thing, and then they just skipped that episode and move on.
Do you remember in Yu Yu Hakusho and I think in Bleach? In Bleach, the at one point the hilt of his sword is a swastika
Oh no!
because the symbol for a Buddhist temple is a swastika,
Yeah,
not
I know. I saw
on
that
a
all
slant.
over Japan.
Yeah. So there was an episode of Yu Yu Hakusho as well where there's a Buddhist monk who has a swastika carved into his forehead.
Oh
And
yeah, that was in Yu Yu Hakusho.
yeah,
How did they
and they
censor that?
I don't know if they did.
I don't know if they did
I
either.
think
Let's
they just
see.
showed it and maybe there was a thing that like explained it.
All right, hold on. I need to look that up. I know exactly that's in the Genkai tournament. It was the guy who had like exploding shuriken. Yeah, there's a swastika. Um,
Well, and again, and it's not a Nazi thing; it's a Buddhist thing. And it was funny. I was talking to somebody about this, and they said to me, "They're like, why would they do that, knowing what that means to the rest of the world?" And I was like, "Well,
they had it first.
I think you're confusing Europe and America with the rest of the world. Like
Yeah.
all of Asia uses that as a Buddhist or a Hindu symbol. Like,
Plus, it's making a comeback.
yeah."
Oh boy, I love it. Thanks. Yeah, no, I don't think they censored it at all. But now that we're on the subject, what was with Yu Yu Hakusho's love of tournaments, Ben? Why did they have so many? I think I understand that the author was in like a shitload of pain, so he just kind of ended it early.
I don't know because then he went on to do Hunter x Hunter.
What?
Yeah.
That son of a bitch.
Yeah, he's been doing Hunter x Hunter, and that thing's been on and off forever. And like one of the bad guys is just an open pedophile, I think. And
Well, at least he's a bad guy instead of a good guy like in My Hero Academia. But yeah,
which guy were you talking about?
fucking grape
Oh,
guy
okay.
hitting
Yeah.
on a 6-year-old. You fucking weirdo. I don't care if you're in middle school. That's just not like no. Mm-mm. We're taking you behind the gym. We're kicking your ass twice as hard for that one. You fuck. Hate that guy. Hate him
Yeah.
so much. But okay, so he does Hunter x Hunter.
Mm-hmm.
So why did he shit the bed on the ending for Yu Yu Hakusho? What the fuck?
I don't know exactly what's wrong with him. There's something wrong with him. He's married to
Yes.
the Sailor Moon lady.
Yeah, he is.
I heard she was helping him draw at a certain point. Like, I don't know what exactly his problem is, but
I think he had like.
I don't think Hunter x Hunter is getting finished either.
Well, I mean, Yu Yu Hakusho at least had an ending. It just felt really rushed.
Speaking of like lackluster stuff, have you checked out anything that
Debilitating
who
back
does
problems.
God, oh my god, who writes Fullmetal Alchemist? Hiromu Arakawa?
I
Is
have
that her name?
no idea.
Have you checked out any of her other manga? Because she has one that's going. She has a new one going on right now.
Oh no.
I don't like it. I
What is
wanted
it?
to. I wanted to like it, but I don't. I forget what it's called. It's something about. Oh, like the underworld or something.
When I think of mediocre manga writers, I just think of the Inuyasha. Just didn't it go on for
Hey,
like 21 years or something? It
I
felt like it
like
went on
Rumiko Takahashi.
forever.
She has been writing the same manga for the last like 70 years.
Older than we've been alive. Inuyasha would I believe
Inuyasha,
it went on
Ranma
so
one
long that
half.
the anime ran out of money.
No, what happened was
They
okay. I'll tell you what.
canceled it.
No, I'll tell you what happened with Inuyasha. Okay,
Okay.
so what happened with Inuyasha was Rumiko Takahashi. She is a legend. Okay, Ranma one half, Maison Ikoku. Um, she's written so many classic manga, and she's still going. She always has a manga going, and it's always the same thing. It's always some asshole
It
kid who
looks
can
the
fight.
same too.
It's always some asshole kid who can fight, hanging out with some girl who doesn't have a personality, and, and they will they won't they, and then at the end it's like, yeah, they did. Bye. Um. So yeah.
Oh, the
So
will they, won't they? It's like, just fuck already. Oh my
oh,
god.
and that guy they had doing the dub of Inuyasha. Kagome!
You didn't like, I think Richard Cox was his name. I don't know why I remember that. Oh
Kagome!
god,
Kekio!
I remember thinking, like, they're clearly building towards the end, right? They're fighting the Band of Seven or whatever, and Naraku or whatever. Is that his name, Naraku, or is
Naraku.
Baroku? Okay, Baroku's the monk.
Naraku's the monk, yeah.
So Naraku is like building a new body, and it's like, okay, now they're gonna have their fight, and he just runs away again. And I was like, okay, you gotta be fucking kidding me. And then the anime ends not too long after that.
Okay,
Again, because
so here's what happens with the anime, right?
and then they did the final act, right?
Yeah, because the anime has been ahead of the manga for so long, and it's been like trickling out. And the manga is taking so long to finish, and it's not wrapping up.
I think it
And
went
so
on for like 11 years.
the
Inuyasha
anime,
did.
it was like 7 to 11 seasons, and then finally they're just like, they know it's not a good place to end, but they don't care anymore. They're done now,
We're
and
done.
and
We'll
all the
we'll we'll pick
characters
back up
say,
when you're done.
yeah, all the characters turn, look directly at the camera, and they say, "Thanks for watching," and
What?
then it
What?
ends.
Are you
I'm
serious?
serious.
Oh my god. I'm gonna have to watch that now. Just
No,
thanks for watching, idiots.
no,
There's no ending.
I'm dead serious. They're like, "Thanks for watching," and then she finally finishes the manga, and then they do one more season called the final act. But
26 fucking episodes.
but don't worry now, because there's a sequel series
Oh
now
my god, why?
called
Why?
Yashahime
Why, Ben? I
about
don't understand.
Inuyasha's daughter
No.
and
I don't.
Sesshomaru's daughter. And you want to know what's really fucked up?
Oh no. Please
Sesshomaru,
tell me
guess
he didn't hook up with
he
Rin.
absolutely hooked up with
Oh my god. Bro, that's your daughter figure. You don't. Oh my god. She was like 6 or 8 or something when you met her. That. Oh my god. Oh my god. What the fuck?
I mean, that is literally grooming. He raised his wife.
Oh my god. That was a bad decision. Just
Obviously, that was a
that
bad
was a
decision.
terrible, terrible decision.
No, and it's a disaster. The whole thing is a train wreck.
Yeah, you didn't need more of it. You needed less of it. The story is literally, we're gonna go find the Shikon jewel. Oh, there it is. Let's kill this monster that's powered up from the jewel. Oh, it looks like that monster was manipulated by Naraku.
What if the Shiko and Joel was like 1,000 jewels?
Oh my, are you
And what
are you
if,
for
like,
real?
no, I'm talking
Don't
about how
tell
it's
me.
shattered. I'm talking about
No.
how it's shattered.
Okay, I was gonna say, if there's a fucking 1,000 Shikon jewels in the successor series.
1,004 soul jewels. No.
Oh my god, what a just a series of shitty fucking ideas.
And I do also like, if you know Japanese a little bit, like they call it a feudal fairy tale, and everybody has a bunch of fairy tale names. Like Inuyasha just means dog demon. Um,
It went from 1996 to 2008, Ben. It went
look up how old Rumiko Takahashi is.
No.
She's still doing this.
I will not look it up. And you can't make me.
She has to be in her 70s.
Inuyasha had sold 50 million copies. making it one of the best-selling manga series of all times. Well, when you're around for 12 years,
It has to be.
yeah, it better be.
Yeah. Well, One Piece has been going forever. One Piece has been going for like.
Well, One Piece is slowly but surely becoming the most read and sold comic of all time. I think Superman is the only thing that beats it, and that's because Superman started in the
Well,
30s.
that's also if you're cheating and counting. Like, I actually don't like that statistic. This is my comic book soapbox here. I actually don't like the statistic that One Piece is catching up to Superman. Superman's sales only even compare to One Piece if you're comparing a comic written and drawn by hundreds of different
And we
people
are.
owned by
And we
half a
are.
dozen different
And we
companies.
are. And we are, Ben.
Like,
We're
that
number one.
doesn't compare to one guy who's been
So
doing this for 20 years.
One Piece is currently at 516.6 million approximate sales. Superman's still 600 million, Ben.
If you're
So
counting everything
yes,
from the
and I
Detective
am.
Comics era,
And I am.
that doesn't make sense to do, though.
No, it does because America number one.
But that's not one title.
Yeah,
That's
it's
many.
One Piece, Ben.
You're comparing a franchise to one guy's output.
Yes, and the franchise is winning.
With 100 people over 100 years, we have just barely outsold Ichiro Oda.
If we could just also include like the movies and the DC animated universe and all that stuff, we could probably inch a
Well,
little
no,
further into
because if you
first
start
place.
including the One Piece anime and the One Piece movies, you're
Oh
fucked.
shit! Yeah, you're right. You're right. Let's not do that then.
Yeah.
Oh man, hey, Garfield has surpassed Bleach, Ben.
The War of the Gingers.
Wait,
God.
is Ichigo a ginger?
Yeah. Strawberry. That's his fucking nickname. Yeah.
God damn, he sure looks blonde in some of the coloration I've seen.
No, he has orange hair.
Yeah, all right. We'll agree to disagree.
Ichigo means strawberry.
Yeah, a blonde strawberry.
Strawberry
They have
blonde.
those in Japan.
Yeah. Oh my. We should just do a podcast about not even like old comics, just comics that we've read. Just like this was the era where I was reading a lot of comics.
Well, then you know what you're gonna get, right?
What am I going to get?
You're gonna get the Sonic Archie comic, Ben.
That would be better than what we fucking did. Yeah.
Yeah, that is true. What we did was pretty awful.
There was one YouTube comment, I think, on that episode. Thank God. Thank God. And it was from somebody who said they were actually a Sonic fan. And that, yeah, that comic does suck.
Oh my God.
They didn't, I don't know if they said it sucked. I could be putting words in their mouth, but they said basically they agreed with the criticism that nothing happened. It's just Sonic going from place to place and meeting people.
And then at the end, you've got Eggman. We found him.
No, the Sonic Archie comics were insane. Archie comics in general is an insane brand.
Is it still around?
Yeah.
Huh. What do they still do Archie?
Every once in a while they do. I know this has been almost like 10 years at this point, but they did like Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. They did like an Archie zombie thing. They did Archie versus Predator.
Archie versus Predator. That sounds awesome. I might have to check that out.
Yeah. No, And they did do a modern take on Archie, like with proper like
Riverdale, yeah.
no. It's an Archie comic. It's not Riverdale. It's not that like that adult oriented plot line. It's Archie, but in our modern, like if he was a teenager today.
Oh no,
And
he's saying Skibbity.
no, I
That
think
he's
it's just
got the
more like
Riz.
he has a cell phone and it's drawn in a modern style so that a child might actually read it.
Hey, that's more than most of the Sunday comics will do. Where it's just recycled shit from the 50s and 60s and they just add
Well, that's
new
because
dialogue.
the only people who reads a newspaper.
My parents.
I have a New York Times subscription and I don't read a newspaper.
Well, maybe you should get the New York Times delivered directly to you.
They offered to do that, and I think it's like the same price. Like I think they're just trying to get rid of the papers, and I don't want it.
How can they get it to you in a timely manner?
You can
Do
mail
they
it, I
have a
think.
lot of I almost said printing presses? Is that how we do newspapers?
Yeah, you'd have to. Yeah, stop the presses.
Do they have a lot of printing presses all over the US so they could easily deliver you a paper hot off the presses?
They must though, because like I could go to like Sheets or something and get one.
How?
You could too, right? Like, don't they have like a New York Times, Washington Post, all that stuff like in your
How?
convenience stores?
Uh no, I don't see papers at the convenience store. They
Oh,
we have a local paper. We have two local papers. But I don't even know if they make actual newspapers anymore. And the building that they made the papers in, they no longer are in that building and they've moved. Probably because it was so fucking expensive. They used to have a train, if I'm not mistaken, there were train tracks and the train specifically pulled into or around that building for the delivery of papers for printing. So, but they got rid of those tracks like over a decade, probably
I bet
two
a
decades at
lot
this
of
point.
people lost their jobs.
Yeah, probably.
This country. Well, now
What's
you
Superman gonna do?
now
And
you can just
Spider
get
Man as well.
Donald Trump to just text you what he's thinking about in real time.
Oh God. Superman works at X, formerly known as Twitter.
There was some. We got some email at the Words About Books official business email.
Okay.
Wordsaboutbookspod at gmail.com for business inquiries. Or if you just want to say hi, I don't care. No, it was some website that was like, congratulations, Words About Books. We have officially indexed you on our website. Click here to claim your podcast and start monetizing. On our platform, people who listen can choose to pay you cryptocurrency. And I was like, if you have any questions, please email us. And I was like, do you think like subscribing to my RSS feed, like enlisting my, you don't have a product.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Like you're taking content that is available for free via RSS feed. You're just taking all those RSS feeds, you're loading it onto a website, and then you're what? Allowing people to donate Bitcoin to
Yes.
to the content you're like not even hosting, that you're just referencing, and you're probably taking a cut.
Yeah.
That's the model.
Yeah. So if you want to go through that website instead of $2 or three
No, I
dollars on
don't want your fucking
Patreon,
Bitcoin. Give me
2 or 3
American dollars.
Bitcoin.
Yeah, no, I want your American dollars.
Give us the equivalent of 3 Bitcoin, but in American dollars.
Okay. Yeah, at current market rates. Unless
Three
they go
Bitcoin
down.
USD. Yeah,
Unless
I want
somebody finally
$87,000. Or sorry, no, 260. No, sorry, $2.6 million for our. And if you give us $2.6 million, you'll get the bonus episodes in the voting, but you will not get a shout out. Okay, that's for the $10 Bitcoin people.
if you give me $1 million, I'll say whatever the fuck you want for the rest of this podcast. For the rest of the life of this podcast, one episode a week. Whatever topic you want. You can even tell me what to think about it. Oh God. How long are we gonna do this?
Well, here, how about we where is it? There we are. Let's go ahead and rubric the book that we read.
What book?
Harry Potter
And the Philosopher's Stone?
and the Philosopher's Stone. We read the UK version.
Okay.
All right.
So content and ideas and such.
Um I think I have to go with a 3 then. Clear ideas and plot points are present, but some things, such as Quidditch, are objectively kind of dumb, and we need to accept that as a society.
I think I'm actually going to go with a 2 because many of these plot points are never developed. It seems like there's something's just kind of thrown out once and then they forget it exists and then they got to come up with another solution, a different solution the next time, where the first solution they threw out would be perfectly applicable.
That is a fair point. I'm willing to bump it down to 2. You've convinced me.
What about like a 1? Just says garbage.
Yeah, I don't think I would go that far. I think 2 is fair.
Okay, a 2. And
Cover
then
art.
cover art.
All right, so the version we read, the Harry Potter's and the Philosopher's Stone, the cover art is this. And I gotta say, not terribly good.
Okay.
Know?
Yeah. Okay. So the actual cover art of the actual book, Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, which I am now looking at.
I think it's not level 1.
I can't go level 1 because
that's like the Adrian Tarn or
yeah,
those amateur things where it just doesn't make any sense.
that's a level 2. I wouldn't buy this
2.
book.
Yeah, cover art
Yeah.
lost book sales. So sorry, it's level 2.
Okay. Next category: German word choice.
I'm sorry, I have to go with a 1. I don't remember seeing any German words in that book whatsoever.
I saw a few German words. I would say to be technical, I think I did see a few German words, so I'll go with a 2.
And how about the Ernest Klein personal preference rating scale, Ben?
I got to go with a 1 because this is just applicable here. Oh God, why am I leashed to this fleshy fail body? Did you mean frail?
No, I fail body.
Everything is pain and misery.
I'm a little more optimistic. I'll go with the 2. It didn't click with me, and I lost interest too soon, and I must move on to the next thing, lest I be left alone with my dark thoughts.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Finally, Hillary Clinton recommendation strength, Ben. I think that she probably a 3. I feel like Hillary vaguely knows what Harry Potter is, and maybe enough to fake a very brief conversation about it, but it's clear that she doesn't know what she's talking about.
I don't know. I'm at a 4. I think Hillary would like this book more than she likes her husband, Bill, even before the scandal.
I think that's a fair take.
Yeah.
So let's see. What did I give it? 27 points.
I gave it 15, 16. I gave it 31 points.
All right. So there you have it. Our discussion on Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, no, I guess we'll just thank our Bitcoin tier patrons. The radical left, Chuck Schumer, Chucky Boy, over at the Senate.
I hear he's on a book tour.
I hear he's on a book tour.
Very
And
on brand.
It's weird I have a podcast about books and I'm not talking about it. And of course, we got to thank Nancy Pelosi. Get well soon, Nancy. I mean, I don't know.
Is she ill?
Well, I don't know if there's a cure for age, but
I hear if you drink blood of your son or daughter,
yeah.
as long as it's youthful blood.
And last but not least, surprisingly, Bernie Sanders.
There you go.
Dude's got more money than you'd think.
And this is his greatest accomplishment.
Christ. Do you think people are going to get this?
Do I think that people are going to look at the day this was released? Probably not.
Kagome!